Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. It is 12 noon, and I am your host for the Noon Report. I tell you, a lot of good things to talk about today. But before we get started, as always, I'd like to give a shout out to my mentor, Dr. Hunt. Dr. Hunt has been with me 30 plus years. And I tell you, if you have had a mentor, you understand how I feel. Someone that has been around you to help you and encourage you and to keep you motivated for 30 plus years. He's been a blessing to me and my family, and I have been a blessing to him and his family. Get you a mentor, someone that can help you when you need help. All right. So now that that's out the way, I know that we are in the middle of sports season. The final four of the NFL season is coming down. We got four teams left, and I wanted to talk about them briefly for a minute. We have four teams. We have the Cowboys and the 49ers. Actually, that just happened already. So we are down to the 49ers against the and the Bengals and the Eagles and the Chiefs. Okay, I got it straight now. All right, I was looking at the scores and I was not looking at the actual games. These are games that have been played already. But we got the, final four. We're coming down to the final four. So only two will advance and they'll play for the championship. So who's your favorite team? I don't know if you like football or not, or if you're a big football fan. You definitely can check out this weekend coming up. Both games are going to be on Sunday. And once again, those teams are going to be the 49ers, the Bengals, the Eagles, and the Chiefs. Those are the four teams that are going to be playing this weekend, and only two will advance to the Super Bowl. So I know the Super Bowl is usually a big, spectacle during the the football conclusion, I guess, as you can call it. Statistics have it that there are more chicken wings served during the Super Bowl than any other time of the year. If you're into chicken wings, that's something to be excited about. But there are more, quote unquote, more chicken wings served during the Super Bowl than any other time of the year. So, and I'm sure beer and all the other alcoholic beverages go along with that. So, I want to move along to some other highlights that I picked up on this week. Uh, the New York Times is reporting that we have had at least 69 people in January to get killed in mass shootings. Recently on this past week, they had in California uh, Asian immigrants that were killed during the shooting in Monterey, California. They had a killing in Washington State on yesterday. And even in one situation where there was a bystander who helped disarm the mass shooter and to help him get captured or not get away with it. 69, that's an awful lot. So, I would like to say to that issue, if you are a person that in the community and you observe and you see someone that seems to be distraught, troubled, that may have the mentality of a mass killer, please alert someone. Please tell someone. Please alert the authorities so that they can do something to prevent other people from being harmed and then keep that person from harming himself. The parents of all of these mass shooters, we've had several last year. There were young people, and the parents ignored all the signs and symbols that were being exhibited of a person who has the ability to be a mass killer. So if I'm looking at my kids, I'm watching them because I pay attention to what they're doing. And if they're, like getting a little, loopy in the head, like, oh man, the world's coming to an end. I'm gonna have to kill some people so we can all go out together. No, I'm gonna grab hold of him, take him somewhere and get him some help. Okay. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I know that is kind of very, very, serious, condition where a person wants to kill, take an assault weapon and get out there and kill as many people as he can, and then in his own life going out in the blaze of glory. I don't, somebody's got to know this. Somebody's got to pay attention. We all got to start looking around us and seeing who and what people around us are doing. In Chicago, we keep our head on a swivel. I look around all the time to make sure that, the people that are in my space or in my area are not looking suspicious. And that's something that you want to do. You want to make sure that the people around you are not looking suspicious, and you can put yourself in a position to react to possibly save yourself and someone else as well. I want to give honorable mention to some of the people that are struggling through a tornado just yesterday in the Houston area. One of the ladies that was watching my show on yesterday, she made a comment that her signal was going in and out because they were in the middle of a tornado. Well, it's reported that this tornado took out quite a bit of property in the Houston area and around the communities near the Houston area on yesterday. So I hope that they begin to recover and get themselves back on solid ground in the Houston area. Other news comments that I would like to make. Google. Google got in trouble, y'all. Now, here's a company that has gone out and become one of the largest tech companies out there. And now they're under indictment. It's interesting, how they have monopolized all of our internet space. Everything works on Google, everything. But yet, Google, according to the indictment, does not play fair. So they advertise, they put up their advertisements, and they don't play fair. Google will not allow other advertisers the same amount of advertising space as anybody else. Now that's crazy because they'll ask you, do you want to promote this? Do you want to boost this ad? Do you want to boost this video? And then now they're being indicted because they don't do what they have been receiving money to do. Very interesting. I expect other tech giants to get in trouble as well. So keep your eyes out for those type of things. Abusing a monopoly in advertising tech. That's crazy. Rupert Murdoch dropped a plan to combine his media companies, Fox and News Corporation, describing a merger as not optimal for shareholders. Now that's interesting because Rupert Murdoch helped create this disaster on Fox National News that we see, where they have so many people that believe the big lie. So that's crazy that they are now he's trying to, look out for his shareholders because he created this big Frankenstein, and people are shying away from him because of this big Frankenstein that he created. So interesting to see how that turns out. Walmart is raising its minimum pay for hourly workers to $14 an hour from $12 an hour. Now, if there was a federal standard, I think it was $15 that they were negotiating with, and Walmart is still paying less than the national federal standard for minimum wage. Granted, they have a high volume turnaround all the time, People, you see young people getting their first jobs at Walmart. You see senior citizens working at Walmart as greeters, and Walmart just don't want to pay. And it's one of the highest grossing industries in the United States. Walmart is king when it comes to merchandising and department store value. They forced out some other stores like Kmart, Sears. They forced them out. Walmart came out here and deliberately lowered their pricing so that those other stores could not compete. And now they're not here anymore. They're not in the marketplace anymore. So it's interesting that now they're going to go to $14. Just go to 15, go to 16. Let's make it so people can make a wage that they can live off of. Even young people that are in college need to have money. And if you go into Walmart, you ain't gonna have no money. You might be able to buy books one time and that's it. You won't have any money stored up to buy books the next time you need to buy books. So Walmart, do the right thing. All right, let's see what else we got here. I'm trying to find some other interesting news off of the New York Times. I use them as a reference point. I do want to talk about a little bit about politics today, more about politics. It's interesting that Vice President Pence discovered that there is, you know, classified information in his Indiana home. And one of the things about the him discovering and turning over the information was that it breaks this thing wide open that it's a Democrat against a Republican thing on who breaks the rules and regulations. Um, One thing that President Biden said on last night, I'm going to take a moment here to allow our fearless leader in here, Mr. Lee Michaels. Hold on just a second here. Welcome to the show, sir. Welcome to your network. Welcome to the show.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah. Look, I was just talking about the situation with Vice President Pence with the
Yep.
classified documents being found in his home.
Right.
And I say it makes it interesting because President Biden on yesterday said that, and without no shadow of a doubt, that Vice President Pence would do anything illegal ever. you know,
He
so
said
that
he didn't think he would do anything illegal.
no, he said he would not do anything illegal. Period. You know,
Okay.
so Mike Pence is so straight and narrow that this guy would not do nothing illegal. So this was truly an accident. And I don't know if people remember, but when in the beginning on January 6th, when they had the riot in New York, I'm sorry, in
Yep.
Washington, D.C., he wasn't even able to go home. He went into hiding.
Yep.
So all of his belongings and everything that belonged to him went to his home in Indiana, but he couldn't even go to his home in Indiana, because he had to go into hiding because of all the threats that came out against him on January 6th.
Right.
So, and not sure if he's been to that home since then, but one of his aides went in there and discovered that they had classified documents. So that's very interesting. How many other people got classified documents? This system is so broken, they don't
Yep.
even know. And it's going to take everybody to look in their closet, look in their boxes, and see if they've got documents too. It's going to be commonplace in a minute. It might be hundreds of people sitting with documents in a closet somewhere that they haven't looked at in quite a few years, because one set of documents that they found that belonged to President Biden went back to when he was senator. So they've been sitting around for a long time.
Well, it seems to be the case, Dr. Ron. But it my analysis and my approach to anything in life is let's go to the root of the problem. The National Archives system is broken. If they don't know that there are documents unclaimed by them, then the system is not set up properly.
It's not accurately working. Yep.
Exactly. I have a series of questions. First of all, who classifies a document as being whatever level of top secret or classified or whatever? Is that only by the president, or is a group of people that decide what is classifiable? And then where does it go from there? Does that hard copy go to the archives immediately and gets cataloged and then dispersed out to people who need to see that based on their uh, category of secrecy? What is it called? Clearance?
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, what does that system look like? How does that work? I understand that there are congressional members, House and Senate people who have the access to see certain classified documents. They are taken into a room. The documents are given to them to read, and then those documents are returned before they leave the room. That's one method. Is there another method whereby the president or the vice president or whoever else has access to these paper documents that they can hold for a period of time? See, these are the questions that I have. And then let's assume that the president has access to documents on the fly and he can have them for as long as he wants or needs to have access to them. But the archives, National Archives Department, seems to me that they need to go back and say, Mr. President, are you in need of a reading course because you've had these documents for 3 days, 5 days, 2 weeks? What's that speed reading? What was that name of
Yeah.
that? Uh,
Actually, that was the name of it. But now let me address that for you. Um, there's a daily briefing that takes place for the president and the vice president of all world events that they need to know about.
right,
And whoever classifies that information for the daily briefing, we lost Lee there. Hopefully he'll pop back in. Don't know what he might have had to answer a phone call. So hopefully he'll pop back in a minute. But there's a daily briefing that takes place that the president and the vice president and all leading members of all the parties. There he is. He's back. And we lost him. He's got to come back in. So with that daily briefing, they have access to. Here he comes. I don't
sorry
know if you
about
can
that.
hear me in that. No problem. Like I said, there's a daily briefing that takes place that
Right,
the president, the vice president, and all senior members of both houses and Congress have access to worldwide information. Then after they have that daily briefing, it was stated on more than one occasion that Trump wasn't interested in reading anything. He just told his aides to read it to him what he needed to know. But there's information that is classified by our agencies, what should be top secret, medium, low, whatever classification that they decide.
right,
Now the agency that classifies it should be the ones that trail it and follow it. They should be able to be able to say, okay, we declared this top secret, so where is this top secret information going to once it leaves out of our classification area? And that's not what's happening. So the archive is supposed to receive this information, and they're not, because they should have a checklist. Okay, we didn't get 20 pieces of top secret information this month. Where is it? And they should be able to track it just that simply. Put a barcode on it.
well, yeah, I
It's
mean
broke. The system
that
is broke.
yeah, that's the questions that part of the questions that I have. What is the system as it is in place today? How does that work? I mean, maybe that's classified. I don't know because I don't hear anybody in the mainstream media or otherwise talking about where the system broke down. What happened? How did we get to this point? So that's first. I want to know that. And then, if Donald Trump wasn't actually reading these classified documents and somebody else was reading it to him, do they have the uh, top level security clearance to read it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You,
They
you know,
they had they
that's
had
that's
they had to have that because the government would not allow them to even have access to it, to look at it, to read it to them, if they didn't have that clearance. And I
what
believe, I think going back, I don't know if you remember this, but his son-in-law and his daughter were first
right.
denied clearances in the
Yep.
beginning.
Yep. I
You
don't know if
know,
they. I think Jared didn't get it fully,
uh huh,
or maybe he did. I don't remember now. But the fact of the matter is, too many damn people have access to valuable, top secret or classified information that, in my opinion, don't need to. They don't need to know. They don't need to be in the mix. It should be a tight list of people who can have access to, be told about whatever these documents or situations are. One of the things that I also have a problem with right now is when I turn on any of the mainstream media channels, they're talking about how long it's going to take for the Patriot missiles to get there, and the Ukrainian army gets to get trained up on it before they can. I don't need to know all that because if I know that, so does Russia. And to me,
exactly,
that's too much that's TMI, too much
right.
information. The other thing is about these damn tanks.
The tank.
Germany says, okay, we're going to send some tanks, and Poland's going to send some tanks, and maybe England and the US and maybe a couple others. I don't need to know that. I don't need to know how many. I don't know when they're going to be shipped, how they're going to be shipped. Get the damn tanks on the battlefield. And let's get busy.
Yeah. Now, do
Too
you think
much information.
so? Do you think that's an implied threat to Russia that yeah, they finna get our stuff, we finna whoop your butt?
Well, you can do that in another way. You can say,
Hmm.
Mr. Putin, you cannot outwar us. Our technical capabilities, our manpower is far superior to these pieback prisoners that you're sending out to fight your war. You're going to lose. Here's the smoke signal we're sending to you right now. Surrender, stop, pull out your damn forces because thousands or hundreds of thousands of your Russian natives are going to die on this foolish war. Stop now or pay the ultimate price. Now, there's information floating around that Putin may have cancer or something, and that's why he's been so underground. I think he's been underground for maybe he is sick, but he's also underground because he's afraid somebody's going to take his ass out.
Yeah.
Okay,
I,
and then I think eventually that's going to happen.
well, I said that a long time ago. Remember, I told you the Russian mafia is one of the most dangerous organized crime organizations in the world. And when
Yep,
he painted a bullseye on anybody that's from Russia's forehead, they gotta respond. You messing with our money. So
yep,
at some
yep,
point in time, they're gonna somebody in this organization is gonna deal with, that they're gonna have to get this guy because he's messing stuff up, you know.
yep.
We got a comment here. Let's put it up on. I figured out how to put the comments up on the screen. Now, last week I was reading them. I feel the same way this gentleman here. I always said their egos won't let them shut up.
Yep. Well, that's true. And then as it relates to these documents and stuff, now they found documents, a dozen or more, in Pence's possession. So That the Republicans are going to kind of soft shoe this thing now because ooh, our guy got caught too. Let me tell you something. If there was a full deep investigation going back to every living president right now, I bet you'll find classified documents all over the place.
Absolutely.
Even going into the Reagan era, I guarantee you
Absolutely.
they're gonna find documents that the former presidents should not have had. You know, maybe even Jimmy Carter, who's what, damn near 100 years old now, he may have something out there in the barn on his peanut farm that he doesn't even know is there.
Absolutely. I
And
agree.
and I don't think there's any criminal intent, on some of these people. But with see, Trump is the ultimate jackass. That's what
Right.
his middle name stands for. J Jackass. He's a jackass. He's a dumb jackass. He thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, or maybe even in the world, and he tries to put everybody down and demonize them. And guess what? We allowed him to do that. We, the
Absolutely.
people in this country, allowed this guy run amok and punk everybody. And listen, it's not like he was a part of the mafia in New York. He wasn't.
No.
I got friends who are the real mafia guys. They said he was like a flea on their butt. They
Right.
ignored him because he was no big deal. Him and his criminal ass daddy.
Right.
They ignored him. One guy in particular said we should have taken him out, 40 years ago, but he didn't mean nothing. He was nickel and dime. He didn't get in
Right.
our way.
Right.
So
Right.
so this is how this guy has gotten to be the in his mind the grand poobah, the dictator, the master blaster. He can do anything he wants because we tried to get him twice, get him impeached. The Republicans allowed him to get away because they didn't support the impeachment. And I guarantee you, within the next 2 years, they're going to try to impeach every Democrat that they can from the Senate, the House, the VP, the president, and everybody else that you can think of because they are vindictive. They don't have a plan. All they want to do is obstruct, stop, say no, and push what they are going to benefit from. And ladies and gentlemen, I rest my case because those are the facts. Look at the history. I'm not making this
Absolutely.
shit up. Look at the history. Look at everything that the Republicans have done in my lifetime. It's
Which is
consistent.
quite a long time, by the way. I just want for
We
the
don't
record.
we don't have to get into all that. Just because I'm maybe 5 or 6 years older than you don't mean nothing.
Five, six.
I I got more hair than you do. Now,
Yeah. And and
but
and and the gray to back it up.
that's right. If it ain't falling out, it's turning gray.
Yeah.
Here's a situation. Unfortunately, the only time we see both sides of the aisle you reunite, you get become united, is when there's a national or international disaster. It's going to take somebody, some crazy ass, to attack us for us to put this petty bullshit and political fighting and bickering to the side. And I make a plea to both parties to just stop doing that. Come on, man.
Yeah. You know.
Protect Dr. Ron and Lee Michaels and the people who pay your damn salary.
Yeah.
I get emotional and sometimes I start swearing and stuff, and that's because my daddy was in the army and my uncles were in the navy and the Air Force. So I got a military mindset, and a lot of the military people swear a lot. So
Yeah.
that's my fucking story, and I'm sticking with it.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that they don't have the concerns of us, the people that elected them and put them in office,
No,
and what best serves the people. They're very selfish. They're very, what they say, high-minded. With they want power, thirst, all of that thirst for power,
yeah, of
and
course.
everything that goes along with that. When you thirst for power, there's some things that go along with that. Let me jump in here
Exactly.
right quick and say, if you are interested and having a show on Street News Now, we encourage you to reach out to any one of the administrative staff or anybody that you see on the air on Street News Now, and we would definitely help you. We would love to have you and your show on Street News Now so that we can grow the network. We want people to bring their show over here. We want to have 24 hours worth of programming so that
Hmm.
we can do a better job of helping people be aware and know what's going on in the world. Lee Michaels helped put this network together with the help of many others, mainly him. But he has been in this industry for 60 plus years and he knows this industry very well. So he is more than qualified to help you bring your show to this network and help it be a success. So I'm just here killing airwaves every Wednesday at noon. And he is kind enough to drop in and hang out with me and express himself. So I thank him for sharing and coming in and allowing me to share information on this network. So if you want to do a show, get in touch with somebody. You can get in touch with me, you get in touch with Lee, and come on down and be a part of the show.
I'm going to have my web guy to put a form on streetnewsnow.com today that you can come in and fill out the form. You'll put your name, phone numbers, email address, and the type of show that you would like to do. A little background on yourself. Maybe you can even we'll have a link on it. You can upload your resume or document that you want to explain your background, and then that way we can see what it is your idea and help you develop that idea and bring it live or pre-recorded to the network. And I encourage you to do that. I'll have that up maybe in about 2 or 3 hours. That should be live. If it's not, just keep checking, and you'll see a link on there. New show or sign up to have a show on the network.
Absolutely. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Now, I need to
That's
make
right.
this public service announcement because I ran into this on my regular show. To subscribe, it does not cost you a penny. You can
Right.
subscribe for free. Some people were confused that, it's going to cost them money to subscribe, to follow me. You don't have to pay a dime. We just
Right.
asked you to support us. Subscribe, like, and share. Tell someone about the show. Do it for free. And if you would like to make donations, you can do that. We'll accept your money because we ain't got no commercials, so we'll accept your money. But please subscribe, like, and share. Lee, you got anything else for the people before we get out of here today?
No, I just want to encourage everybody to be safe and be kind, be open-minded, be generous. If you see a legitimate homeless person, and it's a real big problem here in LA, there's over 70,000 homeless people here. Be kind to them. Don't look down your nose at them because you got a roof over your head and they don't. Many of them have mental conditions, substance abuse, alcohol, spousal abuse, physical abuse, and they're out on the streets because they have nowhere else to go. Now we have a new mayor here, and she's doing, I think, a good job already because I'm seeing semblance of less people on the streets now, and that was one of the main things that she campaigned on, Mayor Bass, and I support her, and I want the people here in Los Angeles to support her and give her time, love and support. And if you have, and listen, it doesn't take much to get a person off the streets. I understand the city is buying motels and hotels and converting them into sanctuaries or places where the homeless can go and have a roof over their head. And listen, I've talked to a number of these homeless people out there. Some of them are former military. Uh, uh, I talked to a carpenter, a plumber, an electrician. There are a lot of handy people out there, and they're just falling hard times, falling on hard times for whatever reasons. And they're just out there trying to survive. I talked to one guy, former Army guy from Vietnam, so he's got to be around my age, but he prefers living out in the streets. He's got two tents, not one. He's got two, and he's off the road, off of Lincoln Boulevard, up kind of up on a little hill, but you drive by him every day. And I asked him, I said, man, why are you out here? He goes, well, listen, I have some physical issues. I can't work. I'm disabled. I get some money from the government every month because I was in the military, and that's just enough for me to stay alive. I don't have to worry about rent because if I go get a place to rent, I won't have no food. I won't be able to do the other things that I need to do to stay alive. I went, wow. So his preference out of necessity, that's the best spot for him. So if there was a place that he could go to live, and by the way, former military people get a voucher that they can take to a landlord, present this voucher, and the government will pay a significant or all of the monthly rent. But the problem is these landlords, especially the smaller ones, don't want to take that voucher because of the problems that come with it.
And we lost him again. Well, look, that's our show for this week, you all. But take heed to what he's saying. Actually, the things that he's saying are making more sense every day. Look out for somebody that you can see that's in your face every day. Well, we're out of here. This is the Street News Now, the Noon Report. I am Dr. Ron. Please tell somebody about the show. Peace and love. Be safe. See y'all next week.